This is the #1 way to pay your credit card so your credit score grows every single month. To be honest with you, most people have no clue about this, and that's exactly why their credit score goes up and down and drives them crazy. Today, I'm going to show you exactly when to pay your credit card so you can squeeze out every single point possible. And stick around, because by the end, you'll know the exact dates to target and the biggest mistakes to avoid and how the 800 Club does it. In case this is your first time to the channel, I'm Mike the Credit Guy, and I have helped millions of Americans increase their credit scores hundreds of points, and I am in fact a member of the 800 Club. Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen so everyone can see it. I'm at 822, 838, 827. My credit score is probably going to drop slightly below 800 for some of these because I have closed some recent accounts because I have paid them off. And I'm not talking about credit cards, I'm talking about installment loans, just so you know. But let's be real for a minute. Nobody has taught us any of this in school. I used to think, as long as I pay my bill by the due date, I'm good, right? Wrong. And I unfortunately learned that the hard way because one missed detail can tank your score by 120 points. So today I'm breaking down the 3 critical dates on every credit card statement and how to use them to your advantage. Now let's talk about the first date that grabs everyone's attention, is the payment due date. Sounds important, right? Make a minimum payment by this due date, but here's the truth. That only matters if you're carrying a balance. If you only pay the minimum, interest piles up. That's how $20 magically becomes $30 fast. But if you're paying in full every month, the due date isn't your real focus. But still, remember, you still want to set up automatic ACH payments from your bank account, not your debit card, because if your card gets replaced, your auto pay dies and boom, you get hit with a late payment. And we don't want no late payments, because one late payment can drop your credit score over 120 points, just gone. Now here's the golden key that matters, the statement closing date. This is when your credit card company takes a snapshot of your balance. That snapshot is what gets reported to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. But pay attention, because even if you paid your balance right after the due date, if you swiped your card again before the closing date, a balance shows up. And that's exactly why people say, I paid my card off. Why is my report showing that I still owe money? This makes no sense. Don't worry, it's an easy fix. Pay your balance in full 2 to 3 days before the closing date. That way the payment clears and the report shows 0 or close to it. Let's do a quick example of a walkthrough. We're gonna use my Discover credit card statement right here. Man, this is an old statement. It says I have a 789. That was last year's news. But check it out. See the little square box right there? We're gonna use this as an example. That second date that's in the square box is what's called our statement closing date. So if my statement closing date is on the 25th, if I pay it on the 24th, that's too risky. The payment might not clear in time. Most likely it won't. But if I pay it on the 23rd, 2 days before, the result, my report shows 0 and my score climbs. With Chase, Capital One, American Express, any credit card company, the same rules apply. Just line up your payment 2 to 3 business days before the closing date. Hold up, quick question for you. Do you even know your own statement closing date? Drop the word date in the comments if you do, or comment need to check if you're not sure. I wanna see how many people actually know this. Now here's the biggest trap that a lot of people don't talk about. You pay it off, then you keep using it right away. The statement closing date hits, and guess what? Now you're reporting a balance again. The secret of the 800 Club is they stop using the card 3 to 7 days after the statement closing date. Now understand, that pause guarantees that your credit report shows 0 utilization. Remember, credit utilization equals 30% of your credit score. Payment history equals 35% of your credit score. That's 65% of your credit score controlled by just 2 habits, paying on time and controlling your reported balance. Now, before you come into the comments and people wanna argue, but don't you need to show activity? If you never report a balance, they ding your credit score, they're gonna take points away. False, because there are only 5 factors of credit: payment history, utilization, age of credit, credit mix, and inquiries, or otherwise known as new credit. Notice what's missing? None of them say activity. You don't need to show a balance for points. You need to show consistency. This is the biggest problem. People are like, well, I just paid my card off and it dropped my score, because your score has to realign. You're not doing it consistently. Once you start to do it consistently, guess what? your credit score will grow consistently. Now, let me teach you a pro move if you want to level up. You can actually call your bank and change your statement closing date. So because I have like over 50 something credit cards, I split my cards, half close early in the month, half mid-month. That way I can rotate usage and still always report zero. If you're serious about hitting the 800 club, this is how you structure your credit cards. But don't call them right before your statement closing date is about to hit and say, I want to change it right now. No, you can't do that. You want to change it before it hits, and then it's going to take about 1 month for it to actually reflect to the new date. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using DisputeBeast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with the 110% money back guarantee. But specifically to Kenneth. Kenneth's credit score went up 282 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. And Arthur's credit score went up 670 points after just 2 rounds with DisputeBeast. But let's not forget Destiny. Destiny's credit score went up 264 points after just 1 round with DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast's link is going to be in the video description and pinned at the top of the comments for anyone that needs to fix their credit. So the golden rule is always pay before your statement closing date, stop swiping 3 to 7 days after, and then report zero balance and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's exactly how you stop the credit score roller coaster and climb into the 800s. So let's wrap this up with a quick little recap. Always pay at least 2 to 3 days before your statement closing date. Stop swiping after that date so you report zero balance. And then the most important one of all, consistency equals higher credit scores. Because a FICO score is all about your habits and how much of a risk you are of defaulting to lenders. So we want to reduce every chance that we can that we are a risk to any lender. Because when you become a risk, that means your credit score is going to drop. Now, doing all this, you'll finally have full control of your credit score. Make sure to comment the word closing if you're going to try this strategy this month. I want to see who's serious about boosting their credit score. Last part's the most important. But hold up. I'm not done yet. I got one last surprise for everyone that's stuck around. There's gonna be a lot of naysayers out there saying, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You never ever want to report zero balance. Of course. But I bring proof from FICO. Let's put it up on the screen. Let's put the slide up. It says exact FICO score reason computation. Okay, outstanding debt, overall utilization on revolving trades in the red rectangular box. 0% utilization is gonna get you 55 points, and then 1 to 6% utilization is gonna get you 65 points. Now, hold up, before you say, oh, but it says it. It also has a little asterisk. That asterisk is the box number represents the maximum amount of points possible minus the actual points received. So you could have already potentially received those 10 points. You could have got 1 of those 10, 5, 6, 8, 7, 9, or the full 10 already. And you may not get any more past that 65 if you've already received them. So you have to understand, there's a chance you may not get any extra points, or you will. Everyone's gonna vary depending on their consistency, how long they've had their credit cards. There's a lot of variables that go into play with this. But understand, it's not going to make or break your credit score as people like to portray it on social media. As you can see, there's proof right there. But here's the biggest takeaway that I always want you to remember. 0% utilization represents you owe nobody any money, you paid 0 interest, and you're not in debt. Because credit cards can be a tool or a trap. Always remember that. Now, if you have any collections, charge-offs, or negative items that you need to delete from your credit reports, make sure to watch this video right here because it's gonna show you how AI will do all the work for you, mail your letters, and it comes with the 110% money back guarantee. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.